Kia ora, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock. With news, global markets are shuddering as the Fed's rate hike has been followed by other central banks. And investors worry that the very sharp increases in interest rates will bring recession. Most benchmarks are falling today. But first, initial American jobless claims rose last week from the prior week, but the rise was minor, and it was less than expected. And there are now 1.27 million people on these benefits, also a weekly rise, but in turn also near their all-time lows. However, both housing starts and new residential building consents fell sharply in May, even as completions jumped to an all-time high. Now, both consents and starts are below year-ago levels. US mortgage rates are rising fast again, and their benchmark 30-year rate is threatening 6% all of a sudden. These rates are now at their highest since before the start of the GFC in 2008. And the Philly Fed factory survey has turned negative in June. In South Korea, manufacturing giant Samsung Electronics has moved to reduce its ballooning inventories, cutting orders from suppliers. In China, house prices fell the most in almost 7 years. Average new home prices in China's 70 major cities fell 0.1% year-on-year in May, reversing a 0.7% gain a month earlier. Existing home sales prices fell much faster than new construction. In an unexpected move, the Swiss National Bank hiked its policy rate by 50 basis points, but that's to 0.25% negative at its June meeting, surprising markets that expected interest rates to be held constant. They did not rule out further rate increases in coming meetings. It was their first rate hike since 2007. In Britain, the Bank of England raised its policy rate by 25 basis points to 1.25% at its June meeting, marking a fifth consecutive hike and pushing borrowing costs to their highest in 13 years as it tries to control soaring inflation there. In Australia, in May, their labour market expanded by more than 60,000 jobs, all of them full-time. And Aussie inflation expectations jumped markedly in June, now running at 6.7%, up from 5% in May. And the US Treasury 10-year yield will start today down 6 basis points from this time yesterday at 3.33%, and a further settling after the Fed moves. And the price of gold is up $16 in New York, now at $1,850 an ounce. And oil prices have risen back up some today, and from this time yesterday, and now up $2 at just on $115 a barrel in the US, while the international Brent price is now just $118 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar will open today very much firmer at 63.9 US cents and up more than a cent higher. Against the Australian dollar, we're up 0.5 cent to 90.5 Australian cents, and against the euro, we're up to 60.4 euro cents. That all means our trade weight index starts today at just under 71.3 and up 70 basis points since this time yesterday. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and that was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.